OmniFuturists.
We're going to talk about today are several different topics. One of the guests of honor is going to be Kristan T. Harris. He runs the Rundown Live podcast. Last year, we did a series of episodes with Kristan. He had maybe 2 weeks of us, different authors on different days, plus some of the folks who are just in the OmniFuture Transhumanist Party. Gennady is out running today, so he can't come in. He's definitely one of the people who's going to appear on the show, has appeared on Rundown Live a number of times. But we're going to try to schedule this, and I'm thinking more like the beginning of April. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the status of the book. And then, of course, the Robots in Space podcast comes out again today. This episode is about diamonds that they think are on the planet Mercury. So that's in 2 hours from now. It'll be on there as a premiere. So welcome everybody. Let's start with the book. Alan, what's the status on the book today?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Super. Status on the book today is a pain in my neck, which sorry about actually, paid jobs have been keeping me keeping this book on the back burner, and one of those is from Mora Abad, and she said to say hello to everyone, and so I will be not only putting her book through the ringer but our own over the next couple of weeks, and yeah, that's where we're at. That's got Ben's piece in today, and I've been screening through there. Got it in a while ago. I got to it the other day, so I've been working on that one, and it's probably be the next one to be placed into the folder, the compiled folder, and I'm going to keep going from there.
Cool. I have a possible business trip to Brazil at the beginning of May, and that's why I'm trying to aim for the first couple weeks of April. Is there any risk that the book won't be ready or out on Amazon by the time we start talking with Kristan?
I mean, the risk is always greater than zero, but I'm aiming for the 15th of March, so I'm back on track, and we're getting this done. So,
well, it's interesting you say that particular day, because one of my episodes is about the Great Fighting Illini. They've got an experiment they're sending up to space. So I put it on for, instead of the normal Saturday, it's Friday, which is Pi Day. So 3/14. So that's my target for that episode.
interesting.
So good. So that'll give us a couple weeks to make sure that people can get on to Amazon and get the ebook, and we'll be able to look at that. Okay, so that's great news.
Maybe, gosh, Pi Day. That's such a great day to tap into, man. I don't know how we. All right, so if you guys will all put together memes, I don't care. Just put them together with pies and books and a slice of the future, whatever you want there. I'll get this thing out by that Friday, and we'll just start putting them out there already, and we'll have the book drop planned for Pi Day.
Okay.
Along with robots in space.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Dual combination.
Now, a couple of questions have come in on the book, one of which I'm thinking was astronaut Charles, wondering if he needs a dollar account for, let's say, in the future when he publishes stuff. You know, he's wondering, if I get paid through Amazon, let's say he's got his own book, like you're doing with Mora, okay?
Right.
You need a dollar account set up in order to accomplish that. And I said, you would be able to answer that because you deal with Amazon and I do not.
Yeah. And I didn't look really beyond the dollars because I deal in dollars on a regular basis, Charles, but I'm sure that they allow pricing in a variety of formats, the yen, the euro, the pound sterling. So that might be, I don't know that they will accept any of those currencies or whatever, but that's definitely worth looking into. I would recommend uh, you could kind of walk through the initiation process of setting up an account. And if you hit the dollar thing, there will be the problem. But in any case, I will also look at that while I'm uploading our book to see how they pay out. But I think they pay out in US dollars. Yeah.
Okay, good. That's very good to know. And so we'll keep getting ready because I don't think he's got his own independent book yet. So this is something for the future, and he's just trying to make sure that when those dollars start rolling in, he can make some money. Okay,
You
so
bet.
I
You
see
bet.
you, Kriston T. Harris has
Yeah.
joined
Yeah.
us. Dude, what am I wearing?
Yeah, you've never looked sexier in my entire life. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate you guys supporting me. Like, listen, when I got into the transhumanist party, um, Zoltan Istvan was a person who I've had on the show about 10 or 12 years ago. And then I wanted to find and learn a lot about futurism because I saw the way my broadcast was going with conspiracy topics being basically invisible due to the algorithms, and that futurism was a way to bring more factual information and really like pivot and turn my broadcast to something that is still as stimulating and interesting because we're having ethical debates and conversations, and obviously a lot of it had to do with me running for a transhumanist candidate for president, mostly to challenge ethics and have a better understanding of everything, in which I don't know if Gennadi's on the call, but he can verify I had the most second place votes, which was cool. But the main point here is that I want to bring awareness of a lot of these technologies, not just the ethics of issues, but the positivity it can bring. Like, technology is a double-edged sword. So I'm really excited to be here with you guys again. And last year, I didn't look at the numbers, but I think we accrued over 130,000 views between all the platforms that we were on. So we had a really good and a very successful run for what we were doing. And I think that we had a lot of good shows and we learned a lot. Our listeners learned a lot, and people referred to it afterwards. And I'm really excited to talk about what we can do with this Futurist Week, not just to educate my listeners, but I really want to push your book. And I know that you guys probably sold a handful of books because of the broadcast. I know that our listenership, like sometimes it's like people don't turn on the podcast or listen on radio, so they don't catch it. But I really want to push your book and see what we can do to kind of partner up on this and really help bring a lot of your guys' information out there. And 130,000 people that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but try advertising on a podcast that gets that many. You're still spending, thousands of dollars. It's ridiculous to get those kind of listens and sees. And I'm just trying to help out any way I can because Mike has always been a great friend of mine that I've met online. One of the first people in transhumanism I had a chance to meet and talk to, and was interested in what I was doing. And I'm really excited to work with you all and any new faces. I wanted to hear, and I'm interested in hearing what you guys are all proposing. I have a very open mind. I have some things that I want to bring to the table to challenge you guys so we can bring out and have the best product for our listeners. So
Fantastic. Hey, by the way, Gennady is out running. Big surprise. He's in a race.
I asked him if he's going to get robot hips soon because those hips ain't going to last much longer. And he keeps going, that's not true. I've done the research. Gennady, he's a very interesting individual. It doesn't, I don't agree with everyone in transhumanism, but, that's the nice thing about having great minds.
Oh, he's got another couple decades in those hips at least.
Hey, let's
Yeah,
start with
he's gonna have robot hips, and you'll have infinite running power. We just won't know. He'll all of a sudden start winning all the races, and we're gonna go, huh? I wonder if Gennady got those robotic hips put in, because synthetic biology will be so far we won't be able to tell the difference between the robotic hips and human hips there.
Dude, let's start with when you think you've got an opening. And I was just mentioning earlier that it looks like I might have a business trip at the beginning of May to Brazil. Can you do maybe the first couple weeks of April?
I think that would work out real well for a couple of reasons. The first reason is something I wanted to bring to the table that's really good for our viewership and our listenership is educational videos. So what I challenge our speakers to do is whatever their topic is, create an informational video, not just with them, talking about it, but maybe some visuals in the background. It can be 5 minutes, it could be 10 minutes, it could be as long as you guys want, but I'd like to at least get a couple of minutes. And the thing is then we can aggregate those videos. I can send then those videos up to, if they, especially if they, nowadays people can record, music albums at home, and they can make, fantastic videos, and not everyone has those skills, but it'll give you a chance to talk to each other and how to do something simple. And I know it's not everyone's forte, and I know that not everyone will want to partake in it, but I think that would be the best way to get the best product, is if everyone just made their own informational video, and if they put their own visuals in the background. It can be anything. I'm not worried about copyrights. So if there's something that they want to play and or make their own video of, I would encourage people and invite them to use their talents to make it theirs, right? So if they have a subject, maybe it's robots in space. You can be like, "This is Mike Verde. We're talking about robots in space. This is what's going on in robots in space. This technology is on the cusp, blah, 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 blah." And make an informational video for our viewers or listeners. Now, not everyone has that time. I know you guys all work and have lives, right? But if you're passionate about this, and I think that it's something we can team on, and you really are passionate about selling this book, this is what's going to really help propel it, because people are going to see the videos. They'll get aggregated on TikTok. We'll make cuts of them for you guys. We'll get them promoted. The better the quality, the better the video, the more we can get out of it. And all of a sudden, I can start posting the videos as clips on some of the bigger platforms we are. So not only do they have our show, they'll have these clips that will be simultaneously going viral, and it'll help you guys get more reach. And maybe instead of 130,000, we're getting, like, this last year, some of my videos were getting 18 to 30 million views on TikTok and X and some of these other platforms. So like the opportunity to promote the book and bring awareness of the future's visions in your books is there. I think it's really important that we team and work together, and we get feedback, because I know not everyone's comfortable with this idea. Not everyone knows how to use their camera. It doesn't need to look like entirely perfect. I just want you guys to use your talents and maybe get out of your comfort zone and learn how to do these things, because this is what's going to really amplify this message, especially in modern day, and social media is everything. Like, that's what people want to be when they grow up in America's what I do, and it's dumb. It's what I do is dumb. I enjoy educating people. I really do. And it's just, not a lot of people have the gifts to talk like I do. So,
One of the things that I've encouraged everybody, I can't possibly do all the episodes myself. And so some people are starting to prepare. Mike Achera, for example, has some ideas on industrial robots that he wants to take a look at. I've talked a little bit to Jacob, but he's big into energy. There's a series of these that are being thought about. And so I don't know how far everybody's gotten, but I think that's a great suggestion. Do you have an idea? Give us an idea length for your highlight reel that one person might
well,
try.
okay, so here it's very simple. Like, listen, there's a lot of free platforms out there that allow you to grab videos and community-based videos of robots or whatever you can have playing in the background while you're talking. I'm just giving you ideas, news clips of something that's interesting. Like you said, industrial robots. Well, interesting story. Not only are they beneficial, but the first murder done by a robot was an industrial robot at a car factory that decapitated an individual. So like, these are stories that will grasp people, and you can bring on both things and interesting facts about this. And like, I want you guys to explore not just your positive beliefs, but what could potentially be the ethical concerns, because I'm trying to educate people that are predominantly in my listenership are very weary of technology and transhumanism. But I try to bring them more, like, listen, just recently we had, I'll give you a perfect example. I had my buddy on, his name is, Drew Arnold. Drew Arnold. He's Beyonce and Kanye West CGI creator. So he creates CGIs for their music videos. And what he did is, he's also a programmer. He created an AI scraper that pulls any data from the internet, finding out who funds what programs and what propaganda campaigns and what marketing campaigns with sources, and pulls them all together in a 3D spacecraft where you can click on it and it shows all the links and how they're all tied between all the money, so you can follow the money on who is impacting our social engineering in America. So that's
Wow.
AI. People are terrified of AI. We brought him out on, and all of a sudden I got, like, listen, I got a lot of friends in the media, and He ended up on Alex Jones, millions of views. And he went on there and he asked me about, I said, listen, I understand the guy has negative context. And if you believe he's misinformation, you have an opportunity to correct it because you're offering genuine information. He's got tens of millions of listeners. Like I've CNN, Fox, like all of a sudden everyone started picking up his little snippet. He made a little TikTok video and now he's got thousands of followers on X all of a sudden because he was on our program and we were able to aggregate it to other outlets like Glenn Beck. And I try to go with more independent minded people. Now, I'm not saying you have to agree politically. I don't agree politically entirely with Alex Jones or any of these other individuals, or I'm on a communist. I was on some anarcho communist podcast because I'm willing to talk to anyone and everyone. So like the idea here is just getting the info out. So their listeners are really weary of AI. They're terrified. And all of a sudden we got all these people going, this is wonderful. We know who's funding the propaganda. We understand which organizations are controlling both the conservative and liberal movements and where all the money is tying together because AI scraped the internet. It found all these links to valuable news and information sites, and it put it together by itself into this incredible graph where you can click it and it brings you right to the article, which states the information. It's phenomenal. So I'm just
Yeah,
giving you an
that's
example,
brilliant.
like why
Yeah.
it's important because people get brought in. So there's the positive, but at the same time, how could that be used? Then I said, well, I wonder if this is how government fusion centers work, right? Every interaction you have with another person is recorded. Your social credit score is geared. What about that, right? So I want you guys to think about these implications and maybe either make one video with it all or maybe do two small videos, one positive, one about the concerns, or I can just cut it up and make it for you guys. So that's not a problem.
I
Like
have
you
a
guys
question.
do what you want to do, you know.
I
I'm
have a
just telling you
question.
my ideas.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I
Nice video camera, by the way.
oh, you see some? Check this out.
What are you using?
I just got this Sony FX3.
Yeah. That's a good camera.
Yeah, but I was going to ask you. I use for the easy stuff CapCut, and I use a 4K downloader, so you can do any video from Facebook, YouTube. You put it in the 4K downloader, and it goes right on your computer, so you can get B-roll for free from the internet to make.
Yeah,
You know,
you use that stuff as long as it's accurate, right? We want to
Yeah.
fact check everything. Listen, I became one of the top independent reporters, and I've been ridiculed my whole life about, covering geoengineering or weather modification and things before they happen. But I did my research. I looked up the patents. I talked to people in the military. I dealt with whistleblowers, and I'm not saying I'm entirely perfect, right? There's always room to improve, right? And I always look at my mistakes on ways that I can be better and better than things. We want to make sure the information is accurate. But the what if scenarios, that's different. Like designer babies, there sounds terrible. The conservatives are terrible about them. They think it's scary, right? And then all of a sudden you say, well, what if we could prevent abortions and put these babies in these artificial womb facilities? And all of a sudden they like artificial womb facilities and these ideas. It's all in perspective. It's all how you gear it. And most of my listening audience is almost split down the middle leftist and conservative. I would say they lean more conservative, probably 60-40. But it's one thing we've done being independent, and we have having a good dynamic. Don's a little bit more left, I'm a little bit more right, but we try to bring that dynamic. And whatever your personal opinions are, it's okay to bring them up as long as it's something that's foreseeable, like self-driving cars. What's to say one won't take you to the police station, right? But it could be a wonderful thing to prevent drunken drivings, right? So, like, how are they going to work? All these different things. I want you guys to think about. You guys got a month, right? To make a video and edit it. You can take all month to make that short video and put your blood into it. Or, some people, it doesn't matter if it's done in a day or two. You're probably talking just I know not everyone has it. It'll take a little time, but what was the question again?
What platform do you want it for? YouTube or for like what aspect ratio do you want the clips in?
I think 1080p is max.
Okay.
So
You want
the
a
reason
horizontal?
being is if we're broadcasting, most people are broadcasting on those sites. If you send me 4K, that's fine. But it's gonna be a large file, and I'm all right with that. I got the hard drive space, and I'm willing to work with it. 720 is bare minimum. So
I meant,
720
like,
anyone can do. That's how
I
your
meant,
webcam will do, right?
I'm an aspect ratio. Like, is this mostly for
Oh,
YouTube?
16:9.
16:9. Okay, thanks. It's horizontal, right? Landscape.
Right. That's
Okay.
widescreen.
Okay.
And what happens is we can use we've been using an AI video editor to make short clips, which has been wonderful, but it's getting better. But we've been looking at better options on things like that. And don't be afraid if you guys love AI to use AI generated videos. by describing what you want and having it to create. I think that's the simplest solution, and that's something that would be really neat,
There's
right?
a few more format questions. I'd asked maybe how long this video you're asking us.
At least if you could make at least 2.5 minutes.
Let me
Like
list because you'll go on for 10 minutes. So let me list the questions.
Okay.
Okay. One is how long might the video that you want us to probably send in as an example? I've forgotten how long your podcast is. And are you just taking one of us at a time on each episode? Go ahead.
Well, I'd like to give you each your own episode, but I could do 2. So let's say you're not a person that wants to dedicate, like, we don't have to do a whole show, right? We have half an hour segments. So
Okay.
if you guys just want to come on, because you guys are busy, listen, you guys are fun, but we have 2 hours, right? We could kill. I would like to say I can give you a 30 minutes, 60 minutes, or 90 minutes. I want you guys to decide what you want to do, because not everyone wants to do a whole hour and a half.
I want to reserve April Fools for myself. Okay.
Okay, well, that's fine. I have no problem for that. As long as it's Monday through Friday, we're good.
Yeah,
So,
and I'm gonna have to do 30 minutes. I probably can't do anything more than
dude,
that.
I don't expect any of you to do more than 30 minutes, but it goes fast, right? So if
Oh,
you need
yeah.
to stay a little longer, you can, right?
Oh,
If you
yeah.
say 30 minutes and you all of a sudden you want to stick around an hour, we're not going to be like, fuck no, right? And so the clip length size, if you made a very informational 1.5-minute clip or 60-second clip, I'd be okay with that. But I know that once you start going with those things, sometimes they end up being 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes, and you get involved because you're passionate about it. Yeah, I don't care about the length as long as it's longer than a 1.5 minutes.
Okay. Because some of my podcast episodes are going close to an hour now. So you don't want an hour, you want like 5 minutes or 10
Yeah,
minutes.
well, like I want you to make your own little news clip, like you see on
Yeah.
social media, right? Hi, like, have you guys heard about futurist visions?
Okay.
Exploring robots, this, that. Like let's say you're making a commercial, but you're essentially bringing detail to the information that you want. These 1 or 2 minute segments engage our viewership and listenership, and they'll help advertise your book very well. I'm just giving you my ideas. You guys don't even have to do this. This is just my idea. I think that would bring out the best.
I know what my episode's going to be about. My focus is going to be about how everybody who goes on Musk colony to Mars is going to die. So that's my
great.
topic.
No,
It
that's
is.
phenomenal. And then you could talk about why and
Oh,
all the different things.
They're all dead.
And then what you do is you state your reason why. And if you can bring up, let's say, a picture of stated facts about science, Van Allen belt, radiation, first question is, how will it get through the Van Allen belt? Then you have videos of asteroids in the background while you're talking. And just be creative. And like I said, I know you guys are busy. You guys are all smart guys. I have plenty of time for you guys today. So any questions you got, just hit me up.
One more. As seen to me last year, one of your most popular episodes was with Bruce Davis on UAP UFOs. I don't know if you remember him, but he's part of like you are. I don't know if you know this, but you are an OmniFuturists. We're going to start.
I do pay attention to what's going on, what you guys are talking about. I get the emails.
Okay, good. So, and
I apologize. I haven't attended to one. I keep telling myself whenever I see the email, I'm like, I got to show up to one of these.
You're good. You're good, dude. Okay, so where I'm trying to go with this is that Alan will start the writers' meetings. The deadline, just so you know, is more like the end of August. You said you want to write a chapter on futurism.
Hell yeah, man. I would love to do it. I would love to do it.
Yeah.
And I guess I got a lot of different things I could talk about, but I think that futurism is important. I think having an umbrella with future visions, I think that's great because it doesn't really limit it to just the transhumanism. And what's cool is if you guys could put this information in there where people would be like, well, that would be a great idea for a small piece on a news article, because you want to blow people's minds. You want to go, I never fucking thought about that before, right? So.
Hey, wait, let's go around the room and see if there are specific questions that people have for you about the episode.
Yeah, can I send you? I can send you a follow-up email with all this info too for everyone.
Sure.
And I can give you guys all my cell phone. Like, listen, like I want to make myself accessible. I want to make this successful. I'm a busy person, but I'm never too busy for our listeners and the people that make the show go and amplifying people who are doing good work. So I'm really interested in helping you guys out any way possible.
Let me just ask everybody real quick. Art, do you have any questions for Kristan?
No questions.
Okay,
how
Alan?
you doing, Art?
Yes.
We had you on last year.
Yeah.
I was there.
Kristan, you mentioned somebody earlier and a writer and I didn't catch their name or the book.
I'm trying to remember what was the subject based on?
Now I've
This is
forgotten
being
that too.
recorded, so we can go back and look.
Yes.
I'm trying
Okay,
to.
well, that's that's good. I'll go
That's
back and
true.
dig through the recording. But the other question is on providing materials. Would you like that stuff in advance so that you
Well,
can?
at least by the day of or day before. So the
But if
day
I got
before
it,
primarily.
if we get it to you a couple of weeks before, can you run it like a upcoming event?
Yeah, if you guys if you like, I'd have no problem even making a futurism reel for you guys to promote what's going on. But if you guys made it'd be better because it'd be more genuine. It'd be like, exactly what you want instead of me murdering it and, some people having problems with this or that. I just want you guys to be happy with it and be able to amplify you guys in any way possible to make this a successful event. Like, listen, I'm all about futurism. I love futurism. I grew up on this stuff. So
Great. Okay. And and on a side note, Art, what's the name of the thing on your head? I saw it the other day. It's $300, which is
Oh,
way too much to spend
I
for
like
something
that
that doesn't
painting with the
work.
sunflower
But,
head. So that's
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
cool.
It's the Neil rhythm, and that is a tack on Peepslonia.
No, I like it. That's pretty awesome. That's one of the coolest things I've seen in the background. And you got a microwave to make popcorn and a refrigerator. So
Yeah, sweet. Yeah.
So Ellen,
Yeah.
you got anything more?
No, just the name of that thing. What is it
Okay.
again?
It's
Well,
a Neil rhythm.
Neo Rhythm. Okay, got it.
Put a link in the
I want,
chat.
hello.
Jacob, what
There
do
we
you
go.
got on your mind? Any questions for Kristan yet?
Oh, I think Kristan pretty well covered everything. Thank you.
Sure.
no problem, Jacob. How are you doing, man?
I'm well. The video is an interesting idea. That's something that's easy for people to digest. I've been messing around on Canva a lot lately, learning about the platform.
Well, yeah, the idea is everyone uses TikTok, they use Twitter, they use all these different platforms, Facebook. Like, that's where you guys need to target and bring awareness to futurist
Oh,
visions in your
and
book. And I think that's if you guys want to like put a little effort in, you can then snowball the money you make from it. Maybe you guys go hard copy or whatever, you know.
and I've been noticing artificial intelligence has massive applications too, because I would have it start narrating a story. I've been using Grok, and then I would have it generate images to go with the story that could, and my experiment in Canva is I've been putting all that into a video and combining it all.
Well, and
I
you
put
don't even
my
have to put your own face in the video. That's a great point. You can just have
I put my
AI create all
polyethylene
this.
domes in the Discord server.
Right, right. You can have AI create everything and you can just have your voice in the background. You don't even personally have to be on camera. And like, if you don't want to do this, you don't have to. You can just do a voiceover and put video. And like I said, if you don't want to do it at all, it's not mandatory. And I'm just saying, if you guys want this to be successful, that's the way I would go about it as a person that's done a lot of these things.
Mike
I want
Achara,
to
do
ask
you
a
have any?
question.
Mike
So, yeah, I
Achara,
do.
you got
So-
anything more? Go ahead.
So the
Hello?
vision is that we're all making a video. Is it about the chapter we're doing? Is that what we're doing? The
You
video?
can do it on whatever you want. Whatever you're going to come
Okay,
over
that's
on
fine.
the show and talk about, that's what I'd like you to do. And it can be like part of it, some of it, all of it. You don't have to talk about just one thing on our show, right? Our show is
Okay.
multifaceted. You went out and you were a part of something interesting, or maybe like our show, like we do late night talk radio. We've been in the top like 6 or top 10 shows between midnight and 2 a.m. Of course, there's not a lot of listeners nationwide, but we've done pretty good. And the main point here is you can go a little fringe. Like we talked UAPs before. My big thing is, are they government aircraft, which 99.9% of them are. Are there some things people can explain? Maybe you have an experience you want to talk about. People are open to it now. It's in the news, right? It's like if you're coming in talking about Bigfoot and you had a Bigfoot experience, like we'll allow you to tell that, but I don't know what scientific fact or what evidence there is of that, other than they want to legalize Bigfoot hunting in Oklahoma, and people be pissed if they actually shot Bigfoot and he was real, but
Right.
it's
Mike, I will not be covering my chapter. No.
yeah, you guys can cover anything and we can push your chapter. We'll ask you what your chapter is
yeah.
about.
Oh, absolutely. I'll talk about it, but the focus won't be there. Ben
But I think the
Baldwin,
video will help
Add-
amplify it, and it'll really help
add
make our viewers more interested, because
Christian.
you're going to have a visual representation of what you believe things are going to look like, right?
Yeah,
It's
right.
not what my listeners are creating in their mind. That's the big thing with education, right? Everything is a tablet. All the visuals are implanted in children's head, stumps their imagination, right? They don't think for themselves that much anymore. They lay out the pictures of what things look like, what you want to believe. And I'm not saying we want to make it like that, but that's the way everyone's
Yes, I'm
programmed,
not
right?
sure
And we can
where.
talk about that too.
Hey,
Okay,
Ben,
thank
you're
you.
next.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Anwoka.
Hello?
We'll get to you in
Hello,
a
can
second,
you hear
man.
me, Christian?
Yeah, I
Okay.
can hear
Anwoka.
you. Hold on.
Can you hear me?
Who do we have here?
Okay, talk.
Mr.
Anwoka.
Frederick.
Yeah, Anwoka, just hold on a second. I'm coming around to you. Just hold on. We're going in order. Cool. Okay, just wait. All right. You'll get there. Okay. Ben Ballwig, you live right next to Kriston there. Good old Wisconsin. What's
You're in
going on with
Madison,
you?
right?
Yep. Sorry, we didn't get together this year, but
Dude,
you
we'll
know,
do it. Like, I
sometime
haven't been
yet.
in Madison, but we got to do that, man. Like, definitely come down to Milwaukee. We'll come out. If you do, you're welcome to hit me up. I'll make time
We're
for you. We'll
going to the
grab
Brewer
coffee.
game on May the 4th if you want to join us.
May 4th, Brewers game.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds pretty fun.
I know.
Well, let
If
me
you
see
happen
what
to
my
be in the
calendar
town-
looks like. Maybe we can make that happen.
Yeah,
I
well-
don't drink, but I'll come out. I'll smoke a
Sure, man.
cigar.
That sounds all right. That sounds good.
Now,
I'm
Ben,
looking forward to the interview. I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks,
Okay.
Ben.
Good. Okay, so you
We
will
had an
be
interesting
going.
interview with you last time. I remember that. I liked it because it was
Yeah.
different politically and everything. All viewpoints around. It was pretty interesting.
Good. Ada, you're next. What do you have any questions for Kriston? No?
For once, I have zero questions.
Okay. All right. Charles Astronaut, do you have any questions for Kriston?
Well, real quick, guys, I want to give an idea, propose an idea. If you guys don't want to do a video and you want to write an article, I mean, and then you could do your video about your article. There's those ideas too. I'm just throwing out because not everyone will want to do videos, right? So
Cool. Charles Astronaut, what do you want to ask Kriston?
No question.
No? Okay. All right, dude. Scott
Yeah.
Bissett, you got any questions for Kriston? Are you interested in appearing?
I mean, I wrote a lot of articles. The article thing sounds interesting, but really probably not too interested in going on the show, I guess.
Okay. All right. No, it's not for everybody. I'll tell you that. That's for sure.
well,
Dan,
it's not necessarily about being interested in what you have to say. It's more about interested in what you want to write and promote and what you're talking about and the things that you're interested in and that you can bring awareness to. No, I understand it's not for everyone though, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying if you change your mind, I'm always open to having new minds and people on the show that like I said, we have everyone from anarcho-communists on the show to right-wing libertarians. We're not politically inclined one way or another. So
I have a question. I'm right down the road from you in Illinois. Do you rather have people in your studio, or do you mind?
I mean, it's like I much rather do it digitally and virtually. It's a lot easier. We're working on like securing a permanent studio, like for everyone, like Joe Rogan style. Because I think that's the future. A lot of people like to see the dynamic in person. It's just way more personable because you have everyone's attention. There's no like side distractions per se. So we're gonna go with not at this time, but maybe next year. So
Dan, you're up. Any questions for Kriston?
Is that me?
Yeah, you, Dan.
how you doing?
Oh,
Dan?
hey, Kriston. Great to hear from you again. So you've joined the Transhumanist Party, and
Well, I've been
you're
in the part of the Transhumanist Party probably for 5 years or 6
Yeah.
years.
oh, okay, that's great to hear. A couple questions. When are you going to get your real radio license, your amateur radio ticket call sign?
And do ham radio? Like are you talking about I'm on KGRA right now, syndicated, but you're right. I should go and get an amateur radio license. That would be kind of cool. Run a low powered AM FM station. I've thought about these. That's how they used to do in the 80s. William Cooper used to do that. He'd get a whole bunch of people and pay for their little ham radio stations or AM FM radio stations that are low powered, and it would, do 5 miles and people would still tune in because they'd be chained all over the United States. It'd be interesting.
Well, that's shortwave broadcasting, but I'm talking about peer-to-peer, getting on nets, digital message-tastic. I mean, the hobby is exploding.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm interested. That sounds like a great idea. like to learn
And,
more about it.
I'm now officially. Oh, if you have any advice for someone who just got appointed to the Thousand Oaks City Council on Aging as one of the 9 commissioners now, till July at least.
Congratulations.
And,
Well, congratulations on that. Yeah, aging is a.
Congratulations.
I do believe.
Cooper was the guy who wrote "Behold a Pale Horse," wasn't he?
Yeah, that is. I actually filed a FOIA on them and got 300 pages back from the FBI, and so all the information we know on why the police murdered William Cooper, which wasn't tax evasion. They went after him for tax evasion. It was because Bill Clinton was interested in his claims about the Oklahoma City bombing, and that John Doe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 were of interest. And then it came out in Congress that there was FBI informants and FBI people involved in the Oklahoma City bombing, which was what his claim was. So he had his hand over the fire accidentally, and then somehow they went after him for tax evasion and then raided his home and shot him. So it was an interesting story.
Dan,
well, congratulations on
Congratulations.
Yeah, and getting to 30 million views. Sounds like you're entering the Clyde Lewis, all those Ground Zero, great late night program.
Well, I know Clyde, so I've hosted his show a few times for him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And Ron Patton over there. We all kind of actually I stayed with Ron, and I went to something called Contact in the Desert, which is a big like woo-woo thing where it's all about, well, there's a lot of AI and futurism talk, but ancient history, and there was a little bit about the psychics and aliens and all that fun stuff. But it's kind of like a very interesting, open-minded. If you want to sit around and hang out with the guys from Ancient Aliens, like Nick Pope and all those guys, and have a few drinks, it's a great place to do it. So.
Dan,
yeah, I go way back with late night radio. I started listening to Art Bell in
Dan,
the 70s.
I need to go on to Anwuka. We've already lost him a couple times. Anwuka, did you have
hi
questions?
Anwuka, how you doing? Welcome.
I'm fine. I want to ask a question. Since you are a podcaster, can we do something that like make a cartoon of economic singularity, like a children aspect of economic singularity?
So you can do whatever you want. If you wanted to create a cartoon or use a drawing board or go on Fiverr and have somebody create such a cartoon, that's all on you if you would like to do that. Like this is you build your own adventure and however you want to portray it, as long as the images aren't gruesome or provocative in a way that would get us censored or in trouble. However, whatever way, whether it's anime, cartoons, whatever you want to do, man. Like I want you to explore your artistic ability if you got that. If you love art and you want to do things cartoon wise, that's fine too. I don't mind any way you want to bring out your message and express that. That's on you. I don't care if it's a satirical video, as long as it's done well and people can get a rouse out of it or they like it or it's informative.
Anwuka, are you planning to be on his podcast?
Based on economic singularity.
Anwuka, are you planning to be on his podcast? Is that what you're thinking about doing?
Yes, if he hosts me, I will be on his podcast. I'm just asking whether the Economic Singularity or OmniFuturists Group can create something that relates to cartoon that talks about economic singularity so that kiddies can relate to it easily. You understand? So it will be rated maybe 18 plus, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, we aren't going to create the content for you, but if you can have somebody create that for you, I'm fine with that. Like, if you want to talk on those things, that's great. The only concern I have when we go international is that you have a solid internet connection, because we can't drop you, because it's really frustrating when it does happen even in America, and I just want to make sure connectivity is there. So as long as we're not on a wireless connection and we have a solid internet connection and a place where we can do an interview where there's not distractions, if that's my biggest thing. So as long as you guys can make that happen, I'd love to have anyone, so.
Yeah, I wanted to butt in and say to Anwuka that each time you're on here, your signal goes in and out all the time. So if you're going to be on a podcast, you really have to be hardwired in. And I think he just left. So there's a good example. Yeah. So while you're talking about some of the content, Kristan, what about we certainly have to watch our language, right?
Well, so you can say just about anything without dropping, let's say, the F bomb. Like if you do, we're on KGRA, they could be reprimanded, but since KGRA is so, like, I would say, fringe, not a lot of people report. It isn't like somebody's going to hear it and they're going to be like at midnight to 2 a.m. We've had no issues, and we've dropped some F bombs on the radio, and it's FCC is really strict on that stuff. I don't know how we haven't gotten in trouble, but for some reason, I don't know if they beep it out or they bleep it out because it gets rebroadcast. We record from 5 to 7 p.m. We're not live at those times, as you guys know if you've been on the show before. So there is some editing that may go on. And then on the podcast and on social media, it'll be completely uncensored. However, the AI algorithms, as you know, catch that and they downgrade and downplay it. So it's up to you, you know, as you can say jackass, and you can say certain things that are like, obviously jackass is a donkey. That's why you can get away with that. You know, there's certain things you can say. Don't be talking about, you know, WAP on my show, you know, unless you use the term WAP, you know, yeah, like it's just not, be appropriate, right? And be professional, and unless you're being funny, you know, humor is humor, you know. So just try to bring your best, and you can have fun, you can joke, you can tell jokes as long as they're appropriate, you know, or whatever it is, you know, punchlines are fine. And even things that are, you know, hurting, let's say, by hurting, let's see, what do I mean? Let me rephrase it. The things that are like, I would say, offensive at times, but it's made to be funny. I enjoy artistic, as long as it's not race baited, right? Or anything like based or anything like
So
that. Not interested in that.
when are
Nothing
you
hateful.
hosting me? When are you hosting me? When are you hosting me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We're not sure what you're saying, though. I think
I
that's why.
said,
You're asking can we see you?
when
We
is the
cannot see you.
podcast? When is the podcast? Like there is no light over here, so I'm in the dark, so I can't speak to you. I'm in the dark currently. But can you hear my voice?
Yeah,
I said, when are you hosting the podcast? When are you hosting the podcast?
Well, it's a radio program, but we do pre-record from 5 to 7 p.m. And like I mentioned before, one thing that's a big concern when we do overseas is a solid internet signal, right? We can't have somebody dropping out. So those are my biggest concerns when doing something, is bad connection when we're dealing with overseas. However, if you can get in a solid connection, we can definitely talk about getting you on the broadcast.
Okay, no problem. I will try as much as possible to get a good connection so that I can join your podcast.
Okay. I got to ask a question for Alora.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I said I will try as much as possible to get a good connection to join your podcast.
Yeah, we heard you, Anwuka. Go ahead and go on mute, dude. Thanks, dude.
Alora was having internet connectivity problems.
Yeah. So I want to ask for her. Kristan, she's a musician. We also got Jason. Can somebody use she's got a really great song with a video that goes along with it. You're okay with musical entries?
I think that's awesome. My whole show has been based on music. We originally used to say our shows like Wayne's World with a twist of Coast to Coast AM Madness, because we're from Milwaukee, right? So like, and that's where Wayne's World takes place in Wisconsin. So
cool.
So we always would joke about that.
That's good. Okay, I think we've gone through the crew. I want to make sure everybody had at least a chance to talk to you about what's going on. I guess we'll start scheduling.
Yeah, like let's look at the
April.
calendar. Let's talk about these ideas. Let's like, if you guys have any questions, I want to remove all barriers for you guys. So like, use AI as much as you can. It's your friend if you can, if you know how. And it's okay to learn these things. If it's okay to talk to your peers and ask them for help or how they can do this or that. Maybe somebody knows how to type something in AI and create you a quick video for what you're looking at and send it on over to you to put it in your edit. Like, and then maybe you don't know how to edit video at all and you need somebody else to do it, and you just need to record your voice and have somebody else make the video. Like, I use Fiverr. It's a great tool. Not everyone wants to pay, so I don't blame them. It's cheap though. You can find somebody for $30 to make you a video, you know, so it's all up to you on what you guys want to do. If you want to make it yourself or whatever.
In addition to this group, you probably also are thinking about Gennady for sure. Perhaps
Yeah, let's
Tom
expand our
Ross.
horizon. Anybody that's part of the Futures Visions, or that is a offshoot. So somebody like, even like, I threw Zoltan's name out there, but like just anyone that's a voice or a well-known voice in the community of futurism, I'd be willing, I'd like to entertain as well, because that brings awareness. But I think anything that's geared around your books, or subjects around your books, or things or people that you feel, that would be good. Maybe it's cryonics, maybe it's synthetic biology, maybe it's biohybrid robotics, maybe it's AI, maybe it's surveillance or weather modification, or anything futuristic that's interesting. And like I said, you guys can go down a rabbit hole. You want to talk about ancient history or anything on our program, we could talk about it. You want to talk about your political gripes and things that bother you, that's fine too. We don't do, we do dive into politics on our show, but normally we try to just talk about what the fuck is wrong with people, and why would government do this, why it's bad, why it's good, history, all that stuff, whatever you guys want to dive into, or any neat facts. What's your cool factor? We had this guy Joshua Earp on the show. He's Wyatt Earp's great grandson, so like, well, I didn't know that, so it's neat.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
So if you guys have any questions, let me know. If there's anything I can help with, or I can steer you in a direction, or if you need my help with anything, let me give you guys my email. I'm going to drop it in. Is there a chat here where I can drop this?
Yes.
I don't think I can write in the chat. Hold on. Oh, yeah, I can. Here, I'll drop it in the chat for you.
Thanks, dude. You said Monday through Friday, and Central Time you
It's
record
5 to
between
7
5
p.m.,
to
but
7.
you'd probably be on either at 5:36, 6:37, and if we need a pre-record, we like to entertain it, but it's difficult for us.
Understood.
Because like I said, I fill in on a lot of shows. I do a lot of guest appearances. I get brought on a lot of programs for commentary or TV correspondence. I'm out covering things. As if you guys know, I was a key reporter in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. I was subpoenaed. I was at the Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein trial. Isabel Maxwell took my photograph while I confronted her. And then the next day I was robbed. Like, there's just interesting things. I was at the RNC. I was at the DNC. I was at the inauguration. I cover a lot of things. So I'm all over the place trying to get those viral clips and doing all this together. So anyway, I can help you guys to make your guys' life easier. You let me know. And I really appreciate you guys all taking out the time to have this conversation. I'm excited to be part of it. I appreciate the shirt. Oh, I got to show you my new shirt. We got a new shirt that has a robot on it. And it has basically a vinyl record player.
I'm gonna get one. Hold on a second.
It has a vinyl record player with the cords plugging into the robot's brain. It says "Feed your brain."
And this is just radio, right? There's no visuals, no video.
Well, there is visual. We do video and radio.
Oh, you do? Okay, great. Okay.
But the audio from the visual is used for they rebroadcast both the video and audio on the station. And I'll drop the station in there. We're in the same station as Clyde Lewis, who does Ground Zero, and John B. Wells, Caravan to Midnight. He used to do Coast to Coast AM, as you know, which is the largest radio program in
episodes
the
on
world.
Rumble, right?
What was that? It's on Rumble. Yeah,
up-
we're on Rumble.
Yeah.
The video is on Rumble. It's on KGRA primarily. It's on Rockfin. Rockfin, we have tens of thousands, I think 20,000 followers on there. We don't do YouTube because ever since me being involved with the Kyle Rittenhouse trial and being subpoenaed, they removed me and they don't allow me to monetize or do anything on there. So
Done. You remember this shirt?
Oh yeah, that's cool. I made that myself, basically.
no,
That was I remember. Okay,
I like
true
the
story
stuff.
about that shirt. I designed that shirt when Mike DeVerde and everyone was already buying masks. They're all freaked out before anyone knew about it. And I'm like, I'm making a shirt that says I said this is a big rouse,
That was
like in
fun.
part. And I'm gonna make this shirt that says I survived the coronavirus and have
That was
zombies
cool.
on it. So
Yeah.
I thought it was a cool idea.
Yeah,
But
I want to
some
buy
people
your
were
new
offended,
shirt.
but
I want to buy your new shirt, man. Whatever it is, I don't need to
well,
know what
I'll
it is.
show you guys here. I don't know if I can drop it in the chat here, but I have the new shirt design. It's pretty cool. And I'll let you guys ask some questions while I find it. Is there any other questions that you guys might have?
I don't. Anybody else? No.
No,
I don't
well,
think so.
my only question is kind of back to that idea of do you want to do like last year we had like 2 weeks straight of just
Yeah, I'm okay
folks
with
from
that.
the
We can do longer too. I want to help you guys promote and help you guys be successful. And we can do 2 weeks straight. And if there's days we can't fill, and you're struggling, I can have a different guest on. I'm giving you guys, my transhumanist homies, complete ability and access to, go ahead on the show and promote whatever you guys
Dude,
want.
you have no idea how much we appreciate this. Okay.
Absolutely.
So last time we started with the idea of Transhumanism Week, and we are just going to do one, and it quickly grew to two, and then we spilled over into
Yeah,
part
and
of
well,
third.
let's call
It
it
was
Futuristic
great.
Week. I think we should do futurism, because transhumanism,
I like
although it to many it's not a negative context, to a lot of people it does. And I think futurism is more
Future Visions Week.
Future Visions is the Future Visions conversations. I think that's the way to go. 100%. I think that's the
We
good way
love
to
it,
brand
man.
it.
Hey, and you know what? You started with this, 130,000 doesn't sound like a lot. And I went, I'm lucky when I have 130, not 130,000.
Well, keep in mind that's a collective of all of them. It might have been more. It might be a lot more by now. I haven't went back and looked.
You have a lot. You have a lot of viewers. For what I remember directly on your show was about 22,000 for Transhumanism Week, but I didn't have the numbers for the other avenues that you
Platforms,
broadcasted.
yeah.
See, so I mean, it was huge. It was
well,
huge
and that's
for
without
us.
our listeners. With listeners, we probably had another 40 or 50,000. Well, probably let's say on an average day we average between 7 and 15, 20,000 listeners at night. So it's not like the biggest platform. We don't reach millions like Clyde Lewis, but he's also syndicated on 130 national radio stations, right? So
Cool. Yeah, the truth is that I have to get back to work. I've got way too much work to do at the company I'm at. So I came up from working to do this. So sometimes we go on way past an hour. I'll just remind you all that we've got another episode of Robots in Space coming out in 1 hour. Robots in Space, this is diamonds on Mercury. So this is real science, Kristan. Their latest spacecraft to Mercury thinks that the research indicates there may be a thick layer of diamonds in Mercury. So that's today's episode.
Cool. And in the chat, I put in our new T-shirt design. It says "Feed Your Brain," and it has an old vinyl record player. And the record that's playing is Myron C. Fagan's CFR. It's old vinyl by Myron C. Fagan. He was a Jewish broadcaster. Very interesting. He's an old conspiracy dude. So.
Oh, yeah. I want one of those. That's great.
That's
I thought it
awesome.
was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. No, that's great. Oh, I got to have one. I'll be ordering it.
Oh, thanks, guys. I appreciate you guys. But let's get you guys all on board and let me know if there's anything you guys need from me. Okay, guys?
Thanks.
Stay
Thank
blessed.
you.
And if you guys have any questions,
you.
feel free to reach out. I'm willing to talk. And if it gets too in depth and it's easier to just do a phone call, I'm accessible, dude. I'll call you guys. So I appreciate y'all. And I really do. I appreciate you guys, what you bring to the show. And it makes my life easier not having to book guests for 2 weeks. We have our radio station manager and producer. They book for a lot of other shows, and so anytime I can give them a break makes everything easier on all of us.
Cool.
So
Cool. Very cool. Thanks for your time today, man.
no problem. And get me all the informations on Future Visions, what you need from me, my deadlines, and all that stuff.
Thanks. All right. I will.
Yeah.
Bye-bye,
You guys
everybody.
have a good night. Thanks again.
OmniFuturists.